If you're a man who seeks validation from women by trying to impress them with all of the cool things you've done in your life, or by trying to win them over by buying them expensive gifts or taking them on expensive dinners and trips, or maybe you're a woman who's trying to understand, why do men constantly seek validation from you? Why do men people please you? Why do men say yes when they really mean no? Why do men hide the truth from you as a way of trying to win your validation and approval? Whether you're a man who gives into people-pleasing women, or you're a woman who's tired of men people-pleasing you, I'd like to share with you the 3 most common reasons I see men people-pleasing women, and how it leads women to feel unsafe and afraid of the men, and actually leads to the opposite effects that most men are going for. And so before I get into what I'm about to share with you, I just want to say you shouldn't believe anything that I say. You shouldn't blindly trust anything I say. These are just my perspectives and my opinions based on my own experiences and my experience with men in coaching and healing work. And this is something I'm really passionate about because I was an expert people pleaser for most of my life. I was the kind of guy that would just seek validation, especially from women. And once I started to understand the deeper roots of why that behavior was happening, the behavior started to change. And that's why I'm recording this video today, because I believe that if men can really generate a sense of self-worth internally and validation internally, and when they can stop people pleasing not only women but people in general, the whole world will change. We'll have stronger leaders, we'll have stronger fathers, we'll have stronger male role models for the children of tomorrow, and women will have the men that they've always wanted, really deeply always wanted. And again, this is a generalization. I'm not a woman. I don't understand female psychology like a woman might understand it, but these are my personal understanding, my personal theories based on my experiences. So here are the 3 main reasons why men people please women, and how it leads women to feel unsafe and afraid, and what men can do differently. So the first reason why men people please women is because of their past relationship with women, especially in their early years. So for me, I had really strong feminine role models. And when I say strong, I don't necessarily mean strong as in they had a deep-rooted foundation, but strong as in they had a strong impression on me and the people around them. The women in my life growing up, my grandmother, my mother, and my aunts, had very intense childhoods themselves. They'd been badly traumatized and abused by men. And as a result, they became what I judge as sort of depolarized, living in their masculine energy rather than being able to slip into their feminine and relax into their feminine. And so women like my grandmother and my mother were extremely, what I judged to be intense growing up. They were verbally abusive, sometimes even physically abusive. They struggled with substance abuse. They were not reliable role models for me growing up. They had a strong presence on me. They had a strong influence on me, but they weren't reliable, safe role models. So as a result, I became afraid of women at a very young age. As early as 3 years old, I was terrified of my grandmother because of how she treated me. And then at 5, 6, 7, 8 years old, I was terrified of my mother because of how she treated my father and some of the ways she even treated my brother and I. And then once I was 9 years old, I was taken into foster care out of my mother's custody. So now I didn't trust women. So the first reason that men people please women is because they have a shaky foundation with women. Maybe they had a neglectful mother growing up. Maybe they had an abusive mother growing up. Maybe they didn't have any mother at all growing up. Maybe they were raised by a female family member that was resentful toward them or angry toward them, and they could feel this from them. So as a result, they became maybe afraid of women, or maybe distrustful of women, or maybe just not really sure what to think of women. And so the first reason why men people please women is because of their early relationships with women, their early childhood relationships with women, their grandmothers, their sisters, their mothers, their aunts, and their teachers, and any other women in their lives. I somehow created a belief in my early childhood that women aren't safe. I have to be careful, and women can be very dangerous and explosive and unpredictable. And so I have to be a certain way in order to please women so that I can manipulate them and control them so that they don't act out in all of the ways that I was afraid of them acting out. So that's the number 1 reason why men people please women. And the number 2 reason why men people please women is because men don't understand women. I wish I could see those of you watching so I could say, raise your hand if you agree that men don't understand women. Because the fact is, some people, Coach Corey Wayne says up to 97% of women or men don't understand female psychology. They don't understand that women operate differently than men. Or in other words, feminine beings operate differently than masculine beings. Energy works differently when a person is in their feminine versus when they're in their masculine. And a woman who is deeply in her feminine shows up with a level of grace and beauty and lightness and softness that a woman who's stuck in her masculine, or in other words, in her sympathetic nervous system, in a fight, flight, or freeze mode, a woman who's stuck in that masculine aspect of herself has a difficult time relaxing into her feminine, relaxing into feeling safe, relaxing into feeling protected. And so men that don't understand female psychology may try to win women over in ways that they win their buddies over. So they may challenge them, they may insult them, they may try to push them, they may give advice without permission, they may try to rescue, fix, or save the woman. And all of these things actually cause her to shut down even more. They cause her to not trust us even more. They cause her to not feel safe even more. Because the woman doesn't want to be fixed, rescued, or saved. At least not a woman who's fully owning her feminine power, at least in my understanding. Again, I'm not claiming to be an expert. This is just something I'm really passionate about. A woman who is in the presence of a man who understands female psychology, who knows how to be present with her and listen deeply and not try to fix her or change her or try to turn her into somebody else or try to give her advice about what she should or shouldn't do. A man that understands that all a woman really deeply wants is for a man to see her, to hear her, and to understand her, then that man will begin to experience the woman open up in her feminine and feel safe and trust the man and no longer be afraid of him. But a man who is treating a woman like he treats men, maybe he's using harsh language, like, what the hell's wrong with you? Get it together. I've done these things. I'm speaking from a place of personal experience here. Get it together. What's wrong with you? You can do better than this. Come on. I can't believe you did that. Men, and I'm not saying this is healthy, but a lot of men grow up being criticized by other men, challenged by other men, insulted by other men as a way of getting them moving, as a way of getting their butts in gear. This doesn't work with women. Women need to be encouraged. Women need to be built up. Women need to be challenged in a different way than men. Not challenged as in telling them what they can't do and pointing out their flaws and giving them advice and telling them what they should do, but challenged as in us just trusting them to be who they are, to show up fully, and to express their true feminine beauty in the world. And so men that don't understand female psychology tend to suffer in their relationships with women because they just don't get it. And for me, I didn't get this stuff. I wasn't raised with a lot of women in my life. I had my mom in my life till I was about 8. And then after that, I didn't have her in my life very much. I grew up with my dad. I had no sisters I grew up with. I didn't have any strong feminine role models that were healthy. I had strong feminine role models that were what I consider to be unhealthy and explosive and unpredictable and abusive in many cases. So the second reason why men people please women is because they don't understand female psychology. They don't understand how women work. They don't understand how women operate. And so they're just sort of doing the best they have with what they've been given. And usually this causes women to feel unsafe and afraid and pushes them away further. The third reason why men people please women and why men try their best to get validation from women is because of their own past relationships with women after their childhood. So if the man created unhealthy beliefs in his childhood, then chances are he's going to live out those beliefs in his relationships with women in his childhood, in his adolescence, in his adult years. And then his mistakes and his accidents and his so-called failures with women are going to end up being the foundation for his relationship with women. And that's not always a good thing because that's creating beliefs about his abilities with women, how he shows up with women, maybe his shameful experiences with women. And the fact is, if a man wasn't raised with healthy women, and if he wasn't raised knowing how to be in healthy relationships with women, then the man is going to fail. He's going to struggle. It's inevitable. It's inevitable. And depending on where you grew up in the world, if like me, you grew up in a small town where women were verbally abused regularly, men were verbally abused regularly, where it was normal for men and women to get into big screaming matches in public, where it was normal for men and women to break things or maybe even be physically abusive toward each other. If you grew up in an area where that was normalized, then there's a really good chance that you're going to suffer in your relationships with women. Or if you're a woman, you're going to suffer in your relationships with men. Or if you're homosexual, bisexual, you're going to suffer in your relationships with the opposite polarity. So if you're a masculine being, you're going to suffer with the feminine. If you're a feminine being, you're going to suffer with the masculine. And we're going to continue to manifest situations that look like our past. Our past intimate relationships and romantic relationships, and our past relationships with men and women in our childhood. So the three main reasons why men people please women and how it leads women to feel unsafe and afraid is: one, men people please women because of their own relationships with their female role models as children, their mothers, their grandmothers, their sisters, their aunts, their other female role models. Two, because men don't understand female psychology. They're trying to win women over like they win their buddies over or win their clients over, and it's just not working. And three, it's because men are afraid or ashamed of their own past relationships with women and how they've showed up before because they didn't have any clue what they're doing. So the reason that this makes women feel unsafe and afraid is because women can sense when we're lying. Brothers, hear me when I say this. Women know when you're lying. If you say yes when you mean no, if you do something you don't really want to do, if you're showing up as a phony, if you're showing up as a fake, they can read it. Even if they might not consciously be aware of it, they are unconsciously aware of it, subconsciously aware of it. They can feel it in their body. They're intuitive beings. They're emotional, superhuman beings. They can read us sometimes even better than we can read ourselves. And so they know when you're lying. They know when you're bullshitting. They know when you're people pleasing. They know when you're just trying to get sex. They know when you're just trying to get a date. They know when you're just trying to win them over. Honesty is not always easy. As for a man, I've learned this in the hard way myself, and I promise you it is the way. Because when I'm honest, when I'm direct, when I'm clear about what I want and how I'm showing up in the world, I may get more rejection, but that rejection won't land as hard because I'm being honest with myself and others. When I'm dishonest and I get rejected, it hurts even more because I didn't really get rejected for me. I got rejected for the person I'm pretending to be. So I've already rejected myself before I got rejected. And then when the person rejects me, it's like a double rejection. But if I'm showing up as myself and I get rejected, at least I didn't reject myself. Those are the three reasons why men people please women and how it leads women to feel unsafe and afraid, and what we can do differently, which is just be honest, be radically honest, show up as who we are, and that will change everything, brothers. I promise. And sisters, if you want to support men in being more honest and not people pleasing and showing up in ways that are more radically honest, please be patient with us as we learn. We don't have a strong societal foundation. Most of us don't have a strong familial foundation, a strong family foundation that helps us understand how women work. So please be patient with us. You don't have to settle for the men that aren't ready for you. You don't have to settle for the men who are constantly people-pleasing. But please at least be gentle so no more damage is done. If you're a man who wants to let go of these Mr. Nice Guy patterns, maybe you're trying to get over an ex, maybe you're trying to get over a difficult relationship, maybe you're just trying to get over being a people pleaser, a couple of brothers and I are running a program called No More Mr. Nice Guy. It's a 45-day transformation chamber for men who want to get over their ex and get on with their life, even if you felt like a needy, weak people pleaser before. And we're guaranteeing that in 45 days, we will help you get over that past relationship or those past relationships, get on with your life, and create a strong foundation for the man you want to become, guaranteed in 45 days or your money back. There's an application link in the description of this video. You can check that out. Please fill the application out in detail. There are some very deep coaching questions in that application. Just filling the application out, I believe, will serve you in a powerful way because it's going to help you understand yourself better. If you don't decide to take the program, that's fine. One of us will reach out to you after you take the application, but even applying will be a level up in your life. So I dare you just to apply for the program if you felt inspired by this video. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. Remember, honesty is the only way to have what we really want in life. When we're people-pleasing, when we're seeking validation, when we're lying to others and ourselves about who we are and what we want, all we're doing is creating more dishonesty in the world, and that doesn't help anyone. So thanks very much for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know in the comments section, like and share if you think someone else could benefit, and I'll see you in one of the future videos soon.